I got fired for 12 whispered words, not for breaking a plate or showing up late, not for anything you can write on a report. Just 12 soft words at the edge of a kid's bedtime. If you've ever walked into a house so expensive it looks like a museum trying to pass as a home, you know the kind of quiet I felt that first morning in Westchester Gates. Curling like question marks, marble floors that hate fingerprints, a chandelier that throws light but no warmth. And me, Nia Carter, part-time caregiver, full-time problem solver, telling myself to keep my head down and do the job. The man who hired me, Sterling Ward, runs a logistics empire and lives like a calendar invite widower, almost 2 years atheist since forever. The type who wears a suit to drink coffee in his own kitchen. And the look he gave me said what every rule sheet already said: no drama, no noise, no opinions. Just keep the machine smooth. He's got twin boys, Mason and Theo, 2 10-year-olds who look like someone cut a photograph in half and taped it back together, a little crooked one quiet and far away, one louder, like he's trying to fill the room for both of them and their mom. Eliza was the soft in this house, and when she died, the soft left with her. The third night, I'm there, the place doing that trick of being big and lonely. At the same time, I pass their door and hear the kind of whisper that makes your ribs ache. I wish Mom was here. I wish she would pray for us, and I stand there with my hand on the frame thinking, do I walk? Do I look away? Do I be the wrong kind of adult? I knock once, peek in, offer a story or a sandwich or a terrible magic trick from YouTube. They choose the story, a small one, about a boat, finding shore, and at the end, out of old habit more than plan, I fold my hands the way my grandmother taught me, and say when I was little we talked to the quiet at night, not loud, just a few words like putting the day in a bottle. You don't have to if you don't want to. And Theo says, can we say something for Dad? Can we ask for him to be happy again? And I say yes, and we keep it soft. Care for Dad, make the house feel less heavy, keep Mom close in the ways we remember. 12 words give or take a hush, after the kind that lets the air sit down and rest. Next morning, the kitchen feels 1 degree warmer, not a beach day, but coat optional to the bus stop. Basin hums while he spreads jelly like the corners matter. Theo invents a math problem about how many trucks his dad runs on Earth. You know what I mean? Logic that makes more sense than spreadsheets, and when Sterling steps in, he frowns like he's out of practice, nods at nothing in particular, sips coffee, leaves the nod, not for me, but for whatever moved 2 inches to the left. We do our little ritual again and again, never calling it prayer out loud, just talking to the quiet, saying what we hope, setting it by the window like a note. Maybe the wind reads, maybe it just feels good to write the boys' sleep. The walls stop creaking like a haunted ship, and then, one late afternoon, in that thin winter light, Sterling walks by and hears everything. He drew a permanent line against he doesn't barge in. He freezes like a man about to kick down a very expensive door, tight hands in pockets, so he won't do something he can't take back. And he listens to his sons ask for his smile like it's a lost toy they can't find under the couch. He calls me to the study the next morning, says my name like it has edges. Nia, we need to talk. The boys at the table with forks, midair, and the study smells like leather chairs and decisions. He closes the door gently, which is somehow scarier than a slam, and he asks, what exactly do you think you're doing in my home? And I say, I'm caring for your children the way a person should, when grief is dripping from the ceiling, and he cuts me off with the zipper of words, men like that keep ready. I hired you to cook clean, keep order, not to introduce superstition. I will not allow it. My sons are not projects for your beliefs. And he leans over the desk with winter in his eyes and defines comfort as food, shelter, safety. Check, check, check. And I can hear my mother in my chest saying, don't stutter now, so I tell him. Kids need more than what fits on a spreadsheet. They need to feel loved while they eat the food he paid for. They need a place to put the day. Call it anything you want. It helped. He doesn't yell. He finishes it like a memo pack. Your things after breakfast. You're done here. And yeah, that happened. The particular quiet of being fired with good grammar drops into my chest and sits. I nod because we don't beg people to see the good once they've decided they won't. I step into the hallway and almost trip over two kids who heard every word, because kids always do. Theo blinks the way boys are taught when they want to cry without permission. Mason studies the rug like an escape route is woven in, and the rest of the day is polite, which somehow hurts more. I fold shirts, crisp as placemats, label cereal like chaos hides in the boxes, pack my bag, write a note for whoever comes after me. Midnight. The refrigerator hum is the only friend I have. Then Sock Feet whispers the kind of prayer that never makes hymnals. Please don't let Dad send Miss Nia away. Please make Dad smile the way he did in pictures with Mom. And the door is open just enough for a man who thinks he's finished deciding to get ambushed by love. Sterling stands outside. He could clear his throat and shut it down. He doesn't. He watches, then walks away on slow steps like he's not sure the floor is still there. Morning brings a strike, two small bodies at the breakfast table refusing to eat or go to school, the rebellion. Adorable if it weren't deadly serious. We're not going, not if she leaves a silence so thick the staff pretends to adjust. Burners that aren't on, Sterling. Sets his cup down like it's a grenade, says. Enough, walks out. I follow, keep my voice low, because shouting is for people with nothing left to offer. I tell him they're not punishing him. They're trying to hold on to the one part of the house that feels like love. And he snaps, you think I don't give them everything. And I say the dangerous truth, you've given them everything that can be ordered and delivered. The one thing they want has to come from you. Night falls. I expect to be gone by dawn, bag at the door, cousin in Yonkers on speed dial. And I drift to the twins' room because my feet remember what my head tries to forget. The lamp glows. Two boys kneel, not pious saints, just kids in pajamas doing desperation, right? And I whisper from the corner. You can talk about anything, even say you're mad. Say it doesn't work. And the door opens wider, and Sterling steps in. The boys brace for a command. He offers none. He sits at the edge of the bed like a man landing after a long flight, and he says, I don't know how to do this. Don't know what to say, don't know if anyone is listening, or if I'm talking to the ceiling, or to the part of me that still hears your mom's laugh when a spoon hits the sink. Mason and Theo each take his hand, just say what you feel. Dad. So he breathes ragged and says the most honest words in the room. If there's anything out there bigger than my pride, take care of these boys. Help me be more than a provider. Tell Eliza I keep checking the passenger seat at red lights, and I'm angry when it's empty. And Mason gives the kind of amen that sounds brand new and old at the same time. And I feel something unclench in the house like a door that's been painted shut finally opening. Change doesn't happen. Like a light switch. It melts like ice off a fence, drop by drop, a laugh here, a soft goodnight there. Sterling doesn't become a man of faith overnight. He becomes a man who sits more than he stands, who listens when sentences take the scenic route, who shows up for bedtime and lets grilled cheese and cinnamon beat lemon polish in the kitchen. And me, I don't just keep my job. I get a title. I didn't ask for household coordinator, which is corporate, for the person who knows where the heartbeats are. And the apology he offers isn't a speech. It's a pattern, guess armor at breakfast, fewer sharp edges by dinner. And when pride sneaks back in, he circles around with awkward, I'm sorry's that land better each time. The first real smile sneaks up on him. The boys score some ridiculous laundry basket goal, And he laughs without choking it off. Staff freeze like a deer wandered into the pantry. Mason sees his dad's face shift, and something lines up in him like a picture frame finally straight. "Dad, you're smiling." And Sterling says, "I guess I am," and then he's buried in twins on a rug that finally knows something other than shoes. We still talk to the quiet, but sometimes it feels like a bench we share. Sterling even asks one night, "Do you think Mom would like the new lamp?" Theo says it makes the room cozy. Mason says she'd ask why he waited so long. They laugh, and later Sterling thanks me, without titles in his eyes, not for prayer, for being stubborn enough to do what was right, and gentle enough not to shove it in his face. And I tell him what my grandmother used to say: love is a house where doors swing both ways. You open yours, I'll open mine. Then comes the part people argue about: the email from a board member who heard a rumor that the nanny is running religious services upstairs. You can hear the tone, right? The kind that puts a cap on how much humanity someone in a uniform is allowed to bring to work. Sterling calls me in, closes the door. My stomach drops. And he says I told him that in my home we talk about things that matter. And if he wants to campaign on micromanaging bedtime, good luck. I won't ask you to pretend to be less. I don't want my sons growing up where kindness needs a permit. If that costs me a favor or two, I'll survive. You might say I crossed a line, that a father sets rules, and my job is to follow them. Or you might say grief throws the rule book out the limo window and drives on. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm telling you what happened and how a woman. People looked through like she was part of the furniture, watched two kids get small to fit inside a big house, then watched a man I'd written off step toward the father. They were begging for, not fireworks, just Tuesday night, laughter, the soft landing we call home. If you felt something hit, like so more folks find this, subscribe. If you want more real, messy human stories told, without a sermon, and tell me in the comments, was I right or wrong? Where's the line between a worker's heart and a boss's boundary? Have you seen someone in a uniform be asked to leave their soul at the door? Share your story, your pushback, your verdict.